NASCAR has the Talladega for the second time in the 5th race in the NASCAR Cup Series Plus, and we see history made for a new organization, and a driver picks up his first career win at Talladega Superspeedway. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching Yellowwood 500. Let's go and just talk about the race. So, before the green flag dropped actually today, this race originally was supposed to start yesterday. However, rain unfortunately affected the outcome. In fact, they were really close to actually starting the race today. But what unfortunately ended up happening in the race was, unfortunately, rain came in. And again, they were doing pace laps right at the beginning of the race, but unfortunately, because it started raining again on the backstretch and they all came down pit road, unfortunately, NASCAR was not able to get it refired, and they refired it at 12 p.m. today. Before the green flag drop in today's race, a few drivers would have to go to the rear. Quinn Houff, Joey Gase, and James Davison. James Davison for a driver change, and Quinn Houff and Joey Gase would have to go to the rear for failing inspection multiple times. So then we would get the engines refire Monday, and you have Denny Hamlin on the outside and Kyle Busch on the inside, and Kyle Busch is able to get the race lead early. Then Joey Logano got really big help from Brad Keselowski early in the run, and he was able to get the race lead for a little bit. And then Kevin Harvick with all the Fords up front, the Fords were working together very well early in this race. He was able to get the lead, and then Matt DiBenedetto was able to get the lead at certain points in this race. And then we started to see some new contenders up front, including Mark Truex Jr., who really has never been historically that fantastic at super speedways, and Bubba Wallace, who was up front. We'll talk about him just a little bit at the end of this race. And then we basically see William Byron be one of the first playoff drivers to have problems. Looked like he was starting to overheat. His temperatures were really going above, but he was able to get that fixed, and he was able to get that situation. So then the competition caution would come out of this race, with Mark Truex Jr. being the leader off of pit road. Then Chase Elliott actually would have to come down pit road for a second time. He had some near contact with Cody Ware, and have to come back down to get 2 tires to basically lock him out. So he would come back down pit road. So on the restart, you have Kevin Harvick on the outside and Cole Custer on the inside. And then basically it became a domination for Kevin Harvick, and was able to keep the race lead. And then Mark Truex Jr. got up there, and then it basically became the brigade where Brad Keselowski was able to get the race lead and dominate up to that point. And then we started to see some movement happen in the race. Brad Keselowski had the lead, and then Chris Buescher tried to move up to the top lane and tried to make a run. And then with 5 laps to go, the first big wreck would end up happening in the race. Justin Allgaier would get sideways in a trial after getting hit in the back bumper by William Byron. He was spin up into the outside into Kyle Larson, and Kyle Larson would get a lot of damage. Also, Chase Briscoe would get involved. In my opinion, there's no reason to push somebody in the straightaway. I don't know what William Byron was doing, especially with your teammate, literally your former teammate right in front of you and your teammate right next to you. It was pretty stupid, in my opinion, to do what William Byron did. Again, it's a product of these super speed races, so you can't entirely blame William Byron. But in my opinion, that situation was William Byron's fault, in my opinion. And then Kyle Larson came down pit road to fix the steering problems. And then because of this, the stage went in early. Coming off the corner, we would see Chris Buescher win Stage 1 at Talladega. The leaders would all come down pit road. Up to this point, Denny Hamlin would take 2 tires while all the other leaders take 4. And then Kevin Harvick actually won the race off, was, I think, the first guy off pit road who was going to be the leader on the restart. Kevin Harvick actually had to come back down pit road. He apparently had potentially had a flat after the first stop, so he had to come back down pit road. So on the restart, you have Joey Logano on the inside and Denny Hamlin on the outside. And Kyle Larson, this one, of course, had met minimum speed. And then a lap later, Kyle Larson, once again, would have a tire go down going into turn number 2. He's in front of Kurt Busch. He would bring out the caution after that. And then we would see all the leaders come down pit road. And we would see basically all the leaders come down pit road, including Kyle Larson. Of course, there's multiple laps down. Then Kyle Larson side of the pit. And then we would basically see a lot of cars come down pit road for there. And then, of course, rain for the second time in this race would end up affecting the outcome. Now, it was a very quick pop-up shower, and the good news is, unlike yesterday, it was only in turns 1 and 2. So NASCAR was able to get the rain shower fixed up really quickly, and they were able to get the race back going. So on the restart, you have Justin Haley on the inside and Corey LaJoie on the outside, and then Justin Haley was able to lead for a little bit, and then Christopher Bell got a really strong run, and he was able to get the race lead. And then this race became a cat and mouse game between guys like Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Eric Jones, among those guys, and Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin were all battling for the race lead, and it would become that right there. And then basically rain started becoming a factor once again. Now, because of the potential of rain, NASCAR had to get to halfway. They were able to get to halfway in this race, and then another crash would come out with around 100, well, technically around 20 laps going for the rest of the race, but with 100 laps to go, Chase Elliott would get into the back of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse would get a little bit squirrely and get to the back of Alex Bowman, and Alex Bowman would collect a lot of drivers in this race. including Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Mark Truex Jr., Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, Josh Bilicki, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, Quinn Houff, and Corey LaJoie would all end up getting involved in the wreck. And then we would see a bunch of cars come down pit road. Guys like Bubba Wallace, Cody Ware would come down pit road to top off while all the other leaders decided to stay out. So on the restart, you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the outside and Cristobal second on the inside. And then once again, it became a cat and mouse game between those two. And then Kurt Busch got a really strong run on the outside with some help from Bubba Wallace. And Kurt Busch was able to get the race lead and take the race lead away a few laps later. And then Bubba Wallace got an incredibly, really strong run with around 5 laps to go. They were reporting that rain potentially was going to hit the track, and Bubba Wallace started blocking very, very well with the last couple laps, was putting really good blocks in Joe Logano, was putting really good blocks in Brad Keselowski, and he was able to hold on to the lead, and then the final crash of the day would end up happening. Ryan Preece would get turned sideways after contact with Chris Buescher, and he would unfortunately end up collecting Matt Benedetto and William Byron. And unfortunately, William Byron caught on fire in this race. And then right there, the big rain started coming out. So at this point, there was a potential that the race was going to be over because unlike previous times of earlier in the race where it was a very quick pop-up shower, basically, it had affected all of the track up to this point. NASCAR then a few minutes later, they decided to get back onto the racetrack and try to dry it. And then the rain started coming once again, and NASCAR declared about 3:30 this afternoon, NASCAR declared that Bubba Wallace has officially won his first career NASCAR Cup Series race. You heard that right. Bubba Wallace has been declared the winner of the 2021 Yellowwood 500, and he'll pick up his first career NASCAR victory. Now, I'll be honest with you. I would really, really like to see the race go all the way to the checker flag, and I would like to see it happen where he was able to finish the race altogether and get the victory earned that way. But he was there in the right position. He absolutely earned the win from that standpoint. In that position, I've been really supporting Bubba Wallace all year long. I've been a little bit easier on Bubba Wallace compared to other drivers when it comes to their statistics, considering it is a new organization. And yes, he had a couple times this year where he was really, really up front. He's been close to winning many, many times. And like I said, I know the race got rain short and a lot of people are not happy about it. But I've been a huge supporter of Bubba Wallace. So the fact that Bubba Wallace is finally a NASCAR Cup Series winner, I am super pumped up and super happy right now. People have been really, really hard on him. And I've been saying, give this team some time. Give this team some focus. This team, I think, is in the next couple years, especially with Kurt Busch coming on there. And not to mention, Booty Barker made an incredible strategy calls today as well. This is the first time, not to mention, that Booty Barker's also won a race as a crew chief. He's had 483 starts in the Cup Series, I believe. And this is his first career win as a crew chief in the NASCAR Cup Series. So huge congratulations to Booty Barker. I'm so happy for the 2311 camp. I've been a big fan of Bubba Wallace for a very, very long time. And the fact that Bubba Wallace is finally a NASCAR Cup Series winner is absolutely incredible to see. First time that an African-American driver has ever been able to win a Cup. Well, not the first time they've ever won, but this is the first time that an African-American driver has won since, I believe, in 1963 or 1964 at Jacksonville. And this is the first time in the modern era that an African-American driver has done. And I knew at some point it probably could happen. I didn't think it happened this weekend. And not to mention, coming into today, you already had 2 first-time winners. Tate Fogelman in the Truck Series and Controversial Faction, and Brandon Brown with the chant after that. We may talk about, I'm not entirely sure. But the chant after that. And last time that happened in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series 2016, we saw Brett Moffitt win in Michigan, and we saw Michael McDowell win at Road America. The next day, Kyle Larson picked up his first career victory. I think Bubba Wallace is going to win more races throughout his career, too. I think this is just the beginning for this team. This is also the first win for Michael Jordan as an owner, so really, really huge congratulations. And the first win for Denny Hamlin as an owner. And you saw the drivers giving huge props and huge congratulations to Bubba. Even though a lot of people don't entirely respect him, a lot of drivers do respect Bubba Wallace and what he's been able to do. So huge congratulations to Bubba Wallace on picking up his first career victory. He's earned it, in my honest opinion. So now, let's go through and look at the results of today's race. So, Bubba Wallace picks up his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Brad Keselowski finished second. Brad Keselowski had a very, very solid run today. This is really going to overall help Brad Keselowski, and the owner's really going to help him in the points position. I'm not sure if we're going to look at that today. But Brad Keselowski is able to finish second. Really strong run for Brad. The Fords work together very, very well. Great run for Brad Keselowski. He finishes second. Joe Logano finished third. Ran in top 5 pretty much most of the entire day. Well, top 10 pretty much most of the day. Had one of the fastest cars throughout the race. I think Coleman Presley and Joey next year are really going to gel together next year as a spotter and a driver combo. I think they're going to work very, very well. He finishes third. Kurt Busch finished his 4th. Very, very solid run for Kurt Busch today, finishing 4th. Kurt Busch was right up there in potential position. He helped Bubba Wallace help him get up there and get a chance to win. They are, of course, going to be working together as teammates going into next year. So he finished his 4th in today's race. Christopher Bell finished his 5th. I'm really happy to see Bell get another top 5. I thought Bell was really coming this weekend, really looking to have kind of needing a really, really good run. And he was able to have it. I think Bell almost led the most laps of this race. He had like 10 or 20 laps at this event. So a great run for Chris Bell. He finished his 5th in today's race. Chris Buescher finished 6th. Really good to see Chris Buescher get a stage win. He was up front most of the day, ran the top 10 pretty much the whole entire race. Great run for Chris Buescher today. Denny Hamlin finished the 2nd. Denny Hamlin's already locked into the next race after a win at the Charlotte Roval. Great run for Denny Hamlin today, though. Finishes in the top 10. Kevin Harvick finished his 8th. Very solid run for Kevin Harvick today. This will definitely help him in the points position going into next week when we go racing next week at the Charlotte Roval. He's not been historically terrible at the track, but he's been a decent track, so maybe this will help him going into that. Eric Jones, another guy who kind of had a very strong run today, finished 9th. Great run for Eric Jones today. He finished his 9th. Ran in the top 5 the later portion of this race. Got up there, was in the right position, the right time. Solid top 10 for him. And Anthony Alfredo finished 10th. This also, I believe, is Anthony Alfredo's first career top 10 finish. So huge congratulations to Anthony Alfredo on getting his first career top 10 finish. Really happy to see Anthony, considering this has been kind of a struggling year for Anthony Alfredo. To finish in the top 10 is really, really good. Good to see that for Anthony Alfredo. Austin Dillon finished 11th. Not a bad run for Austin Dillon. Mark Truex Jr. finished as 12th. One of Mark Truex Jr.'s better runs on Super Speedways, considering he got involved in that wreck early in about 20 laps ago, technically in the race. Mark Truex Jr. finishing 12th. Very solid run for Mark Truex Jr. in today's race. Cole Custer finished his 13th. Not a bad run for Cole Custer. Chase Briscoe finished his 14th. Even after crashing the early wreck, still bounced back to top 15. Very solid run for him. Ryan Blaney finished his 15th. I thought Ryan Blaney was going to be a little more a factor than he was today. He was actually my pick coming into this weekend, so I thought Ryan Blaney was going to be a little bit faster, but still, 15th place to Ryan Blaney. Not too bad. Not a bad run for Ryan Blaney. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 16th. I thought Stenhouse was going to overall had an overall really good shot of contending overall for the victory in this race, and he looked like he was going to have an opportunity. Of course, he was involved with controversy, but 16th place, not a bad run. Michael McDowell finished 17th. He battled back from a slow pit. I think he had a slow pit stop early in this race and actually ended up going a lap down. So solid bounce back for Michael McDowell. Chase Elliott finished his 18th. Chase Elliott was kind of a non-factor too in today's race. Of course, he was a non-factor with issues in the race, but of course, finishing 18th. Not a terrible run for Chase Elliott. We're going to the Roval, which he's probably the favorite for that anyways, so he'll probably be a factor there. Quinn Houff with a solid top 20 run. Pretty impressive for Quinn Houff. And finishing 20th in today's race is Justin Haley. A solid top 20 run for the College boys. Not too bad. Ryan Newman finishes 21st. Corey LaJoie finishes 22nd. Daniel Torres finished 23rd. Landon Castle only making a second start this year. Top 25 finish for the Gaunt Brothers Racing Camp. Solid run for that organization, finishing 24th. Joey Gase finishes 25th. Eric Almirola finishes 26th. I thought Eric was going to be a little more of a factor today, maybe running in the top 10. And early in the race, he actually looked like it was going to be a much bigger factor with the 4th, but kind of fell back, and I think he had trouble, but he still finishes 26th. Kyle Busch, after the damage, he finishes 27th. Cody Ware finished 20th. Cody Ware actually was leading when they came to the rain delay, so Cody Ware actually got the lead some laps for Rick Ware Racing, and I know a lot of people were saying, hey, stop the count. I want to see Cody Ware get the win, but really cool to see Cody Ware at least get some recognition. Sucks that NBC could not interview him. I really wish they could have interviewed him during that short rain delay. Said he interviewed a lot of the playoff guys, but they should have interviewed Cody Ware. Garrett Smithy finished his 29th. BJ McLeod finished his 30th. 31st place finisher Josh Blicky, 32nd for Ryan Preece, 33rd for Ross Chastain, 34th for James Davis, and Matt DiBenedetto finished 35th. Matty D looked pretty solid throughout the beginning of the run, unfortunately got involved in that late stage wreck, but a 35th place finish, it is what it is. William Byron finished 36th. William Byron's definitely going to be going in, having to win next week at the Charlotte Roval. He's pretty much in a must-win situation, along with the guy we'll talk about in a second. He's pretty much in a must-win situation going into the Roval, which is really, really unfortunate. Looks like he's going to have some luck from other guys, and we've seen the Roval cause craziness, where he's going to have to win. Kyle Larson finishes 37th. I thought Kyle Larson was going to kind of struggle, to be honest with you. He was kind of looking to not have a good run. He was up there early, and unfortunately that contact kind of cost him overall as a whole. But Kyle Larson still stayed on the track, and if they had finished the race all the way, I do feel like that Kyle Larson could be able to get up there and maybe at least finish maybe top 25, top 30 if a big one would have happened and gotten enough points. But Kyle Larson still has a pretty solid cushion overall as a whole. He sits 37 points, 37th. 38th place finisher Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman was up front before the contact late in the race. After contact race, Stenhouse Jr., he finishes 38th. Tyler Reddick finishes 39th. And finishing last in 40th place in today's race is Justin Allgaier. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff standings. All right, So now let's take a look at the playoff standings. So Denny Hamlin's already locked into the next round after his win at Las Vegas. Kyle Larson, even though he lost a lot of points today, he's still 25 points above the cutoff line. Pretty good position for him. Mark Truex Jr. is third. I thought Mark Truex Jr. was going to be a lot lower than he is in the points. He's 23 points above the cutoff line. Ryan Blaney's fourth, 20 points above the cutoff line. Julie Logano is fifth, 16 above the cutoff line. Brad Keselowski's sixth, 14 above the cutoff line. Kyle Busch is 7, 12 above the cutoff line. And Chase Elliott currently sits last above the cutoff line, 11 ahead. The four below, Kevin Harvick is 11 points below. Chris Bell is 10, 33 below. 11th is William Byron, 43 below. And Alex Bowman is 12, 51 below. Looking at the playoff grid at this given moment, I do think that there are a few drivers you can absolutely say are safe. I know that anything can happen, but I don't think anyone's entirely safe at this point. But Kyle Larson, I think, will be in a decent shape. If he gets points, Inero should be in a good position. Everyone's going to have to be on their A game going into the next race at the Roval, where that race could also be very chaotic as well. So now let's overall talk about my thoughts on the race and give you my score on today's race. Honestly, it's going to be very tough to rate this race because this race did not go all the way through. I thought when the race, we had actual racing on the track, I thought it was an entirely awesome and a really, really good race. You had three wide racing throughout the really for half the race. You had three wide racing, really good racing throughout the field. And even though you had intensity and focus, guys were still putting on a really good show out there. But unfortunately, the race is going to get a little hampered by the fact that the race did end a little bit early. So my score, just because of the rain ending, I'm going to give today's race at Talladega overall a 8 out of 10. If the race would have finished all the way, I do feel like I would have given a little bit higher score. But the fact that the race ended early, even though it really wasn't NASCAR's fault and rain came and NASCAR was really going to have a tough time to getting the track dried up and everything anyways, is really, really unfortunate. But I'm going to give today's score at Talladega an 8 out of 10. Want to say again, though, huge congratulations to Bubba Wallace on picking up his first career victory. Great to see the 2311 his team was able to get their first victory, and I think the 2311's future is really, really awesome. First win for Michael Jordan. Really happy for this organization. Congrats to Bubba Wallace. And next week, we are headed to the Charlotte Roval to decide who gets into the round of 8. After this week, we only got 5 races left, and after next week, we're only going to have 4 races to decide a championship. We'll find out who advances to the round of 8 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. So, anyway, that is it for today's race review from Talladega Superspeedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notification so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and support page one. Let's go below for that and comment your thoughts on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your score in the comments below. And congratulate Bubba Wallace on picking up his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. But anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.